Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
Alex wiped the sweat from his brow as he surveyed the scattered wreckage of discarded technology. The day had begun like any other, picking through the remnants of ships once charged with old-world defiance, left to decay in the sprawling junkyard on the outskirts of New Chicago. It wasn't glamorous work, but it paid the bills, and it kept Alex's hands busy, something that provided solace amidst the noise of life. Among the twisted metal and shattered glass, something unusual caught his eye, a glint of iridescence peeking through the grime. Intrigued, Alex knelt and began to dig through the debris, revealing the intricately designed collar. It pulsed faintly with an otherworldly light, as if it possessed a heartbeat of its own. "What the hell are you?" he muttered to himself, his fingers brushing against the cool surface of the collar. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, both beautiful and unsettling. With careful deliberation, he dislodged it from its resting place, his curiosity outweighing any hesitation. He lugged the collar back to his makeshift workshop, a cramped space filled with tools, spare parts, and the faint scent of oil. As he examined the device under the flickering industrial lights, Alex's fascination grew. The collar had a range of buttons and intricate engravings etched into the material, and it seemed to hum gently in his presence. After hours spent tinkering, Alex finally hit the jackpot. He believed he had located the source of the collar's energy leak. He felt a mix of excitement and nerves. This was the moment he had been waiting for. "All right, let's see if we can get you working again," he said, steadying his hands and connecting a series of wires. Sparks flew as he activated the collar, and for a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, in a flash of light, the collar surged to life, enveloping his wrist before he could react. "What the?" Alex exclaimed, watching as glowing symbols danced across the collar surface. Panic surged through him as he felt a sudden shift in the air. A bright light burst from the collar, surrounding him in a cocoon of energy. When the light faded, Alex found himself not alone, but face to face with a striking figure. Standing before him was Zyra, an alien being with shimmering skin that swirled in shades of blue and violet. Her eyes, large and expressive, filled with confusion and surprise. The collar buzzed ominously around Alex's wrist, and in that instant he knew. The device had not merely fixed itself, it had registered him as Zyra's owner. Zyra took a tentative step back, eyeing him with a mix of fear and curiosity. "What have you done?" she questioned, her voice melodic, yet edged with uncertainty. I don't know," Alex replied, fighting the urge to panic as the implications of what had just occurred settled in. "I just wanted to fix the collar." She examined him, her features a blend of concern and intrigue. "You repaired it, and now you own me?" The word sent a chill down Alex's spine. He had never considered himself to be the kind of person who would own anyone, let alone an intelligent being from another world. "No, that's not. This isn't what I wanted." His mind raced, trying to comprehend the moral and ethical implications of their connection. Zyra's body shimmered with a mix of colors as she blinked, the collar's influence settling around them like an invisible weight. "We must find a way to rid myself of this collar. It binds me to you, and I cannot be owned." Alex took a deep breath, realizing that their destinies had somehow intertwined, spiraling out of his control. "Then we'll figure this out together," he said, his voice steadier than his thoughts. "We'll make it work. I don't want to own you. I want to understand you." As Zyra hesitated, studying his face, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that this strange twist of fate would change both of their lives forever. In that moment, amidst the cluttered remnants of yesteryear, a new journey began for Alex and Zyra, one filled with questions, cultural clashes, and the intricate dance of understanding, love, and autonomy. The air in the workshop hung thick with tension, the collar's glow casting ethereal shadows on the walls. Zyra stood still, her wide eyes fixed on Alex as if sizing him up, trying to gauge whether he posed a threat or could be a potential ally. Her skin shimmered with an array of colors, as if reflecting her emotions, an astounding display that captivated Alex and grounded him in the reality of her existence. "I didn't mean for this to happen," Alex said softly, still grappling with the implications of the collar binding them together. "You're not a possession, and I don't want to treat you like one. We need to understand each other. Zyra crossed her arms, the gesture both defensive and curious. You're human, yet you approach me with a notion of friendship. Few beings on my world view ownership the way you do. You fix the collar, and I become yours. Alex took a step closer, trying to maintain eye contact with her luminescent gaze. But I want to break free from that notion. I don't know what your people are like or what this collar means for you, but I'm not your master. I want to be your partner, if you'll let me. She tilted her head, processing his words. A partner, she repeated slowly. In my culture, that concept is often intertwined with mating. Is that what you seek? The question hung in the air, and a blush crept across Alex's face despite himself. I didn't mean it that way. I just meant, I want us to work together. But the thought lingered in the back of his mind, tantalizing and forbidden. What would it truly mean to be partners? Zyra's skin flickered as she considered this. Then she unwound her arms and extended one hand toward him. If you wish to understand me, then teach me what it means to be human. I, too, wish to learn about you, and perhaps what it means to bond. Alex's heart raced at her words, a blend of excitement and uncertainty rippling through him. Okay, how about we start with some basics? What do you want to know? Zyra's expression shifted to one of curiosity. Your customs, your spoken language. How do you express affection? It seems vital. He hesitated, caught off guard by her directness. Well, for humans, affection can be shown in many ways, through words, gestures, and physical touch. Zyra's head tilted slightly, a gesture that seemed to convey both interest and a hint of confusion. Touch, as in physical connection? Alex nodded, unsure how much to divulge. Yes, hugs, holding hands, cuddling. It's a way to comfort and bond with someone. Zyra's body shimmered in thought. In my culture, touch often has different implications. Are you suggesting that we engage in physical connection without intent of ownership? The nuance of their conversation was clear, and Alex felt the weight of their cultural differences. Yes, it's about building trust, getting to know each other without boundaries. It's classic dating stuff. Zyra looked puzzled, and Alex couldn't help but smile gently. Her earnestness was endearing. Why don't you show me, then? She asked, her confidence returning. Lead me in this human way of expression. Taking a deep breath, Alex moved closer, creating a safe distance to gauge her comfort. Okay, let's try a hug. All you have to do is wrap your arms around me. Zyra stepped forward hesitantly, her shimmering aura brightening as they came into proximity. Once she was sure of the space, she hesitantly placed her arms around him, embracing him softly. A wave of warmth enveloped Alex. A connection was forged in that simple act. He instinctively wrapped his arms around her, feeling the sensation of her skin against his. It was simultaneously foreign and familiar, a bridge between their worlds. This feels intimate, Zyra whispered, her voice barely above a breath. It is, Alex replied, his heart racing. It's how we establish trust and comfort. He pulled back slightly, gazing into her earnest eyes, nearly lost in their depth. You can let me know if it feels wrong. I wouldn't want to overstep. Zyra shook her head, a cascade of shimmering hues illuminating her face. No, it feels right. They stood in silence for a moment, the warmth of the embrace lingering in the air like an unspoken promise. The bond between them deepened, the barriers of ownership faded, replaced by a burgeoning understanding. What other ways do humans express affection? She asked, leaning back just enough to catch his gaze. Alex grinned at her eagerness. Well, sometimes people hold hands during a walk or share meaningful stories. With time, they might kiss. The word hung in the air, and the way Zyra's skin flared in colors told him she was intrigued. Kiss? How does that express feelings? He took a breath, his heart racing again. A kiss is personal, a brush of lips. It can signify many things: care, passion, love. Zyra blushed a brilliant shade of blue, a vibrant display of her emotions. May I ask, would you be open to that? Caught off guard, Alex's mind spun. Zyra, I think it's too soon. This is all very new for both of us. But as we grow closer, is it not a possibility? She pressed, her voice a gentle challenge. For every step they were about to take together, Alex felt the weight of both excitement and trepidation. The boundaries of their lives were already blurring, and he couldn't deny the spark of curiosity igniting within him. Yes, it's a possibility. But let's take it slow. Get to know each other before. He paused, searching for the right words. Before we venture into that, okay. Zyra nodded, her gaze steadying on him. Together, then, we will discover what it means to be partners. As the first glimmers of connection sparkled between them, Alex realized that they were no longer just a human and an alien bound by a collar. They were two beings willing to bridge a galaxy of difference, exploring unknown territory together. Days blurred into one another in Alex's workshop, and as he and Zyra grew comfortable in each other's presence, the initial awkwardness transformed into friendship. They spent hours talking, learning about each other's worlds, and finding joy in the simple things, like sharing laughter and discovering mutual interests. One afternoon, Alex decided to introduce Zyra to a classic human pastime, music. He pulled out an old, battered record player he had salvaged from a nearby estate sale and set it up in the corner of his workshop. The dust-covered records were a testament to another time, but he cherished the memories tied to them. "What is this device?" Zyra asked, eyeing the player curiously. "It's a record player. You put a disc on it, and it spins while the needle reads the grooves. It creates sound, music. It's a big part of our culture," he explained, excitedly producing a vinyl record. She tilted her head in wonder as he placed the record down and set the needle in place. A gentle crackle filled the air, followed by the melodious strains of a classic rock ballad. "What is this emotion?" Zyra inquired, her eyes shimmering as she absorbed the sound. "The notes weave together like a story." "Exactly. Music is often tied to emotions and feelings, joy, sadness, love. It can capture moments in time," Alex replied, watching her expressions shift in response to the rhythms. Zyra swayed slightly, embodying the music with a fluid grace that left Alex mesmerized. He felt something stir within him, a connection that transcended their differences. "You're a natural," he said, laughter escaping his lips. "Are you dancing?" "I believe so," she responded, her skin glowing brighter with each note. "Does this activity express affection?" "It can," Alex said, joining her by moving to the music, their movements becoming instinctive. "Dancing is another way to share a moment. It brings people closer together, both physically and emotionally." With each passing day, they introduced each other to parts of their lives that felt intimate and personal. Zyra shared stories of her home planet, a place filled with luminescent flora and fauna that reacted to emotional states. Alex listened, captivated by her tales of alien customs, the beauty of her world painting vivid pictures in his mind. "Tell me about love on your planet," Alex asked one evening as the stars glittered outside the workshop. "What does it mean to your people?" Zyra's expression shifted to a more serious tone. "Love is a bond. It's a commitment to mutual growth and sharing of one's being. We support one another's journeys, without constraints or ownership." "That sounds beautiful," Alex responded, his heart fluttering at the thought. The more he learned, the more tangled his emotions became. What happens if someone can't fulfill their commitments? "We have rituals to release individuals from bonds that no longer serve," Zyra explained. "We respect autonomy above all." He mulled over her words, feeling the weight of their implications. "So, it's not just about being together, but also about respecting each other's freedom?" "Yes," she affirmed, the radiance of her skin shifting to a tranquil shade. "Sharing your life with another is about trust and respect. To love is to willingly choose to journey together while acknowledging each other's individuality." Alex felt a pang of unease at how their situation contrasted with her views. He was still bound to the collar, and while he didn't consider her property, national laws and cultural norms dictated otherwise. To lighten the mood, he suggested, "How about we take a break from heavy discussions? I can show you how to cook some classic human dishes. It might be fun." "Cook? In what way does one engage in this act?" Zyra queried, her curiosity piqued once again. "You'll see. Let's start with something simple, pasta." He moved to the shelves, retrieving ingredients as Zyra watched with wide-eyed interest. As they worked together, Alex showed her how to prepare the dish, delighting in their shared laughter as flour dusted their faces. Zyra's keen observational skills enabled her to excel quickly, surprisingly adept at mimicking his movements. "Why do you humans find enjoyment in food preparation?" she asked, stirring the sauce with precise movements. "Food is a sensory experience," Alex explained, blending spices with care. "It connects us to our memories, family gatherings, celebrations. It feeds us both physically and emotionally." Zyra inhaled the aroma, her skin glowing in delight. "I can understand this in a way. On my planet, we cultivate flavors that change with our emotions." After a hearty meal that left them both full and satisfied, they sat on the makeshift couch in the workshop, sharing stories and laughter. As the night deepened, the conversation flowed effortlessly. The ambience transformed into a sacred space for vulnerability. "How do you envision your future?" Zyra asked, her tone more contemplative now. "What path do you wish to walk on?" The question stilled Alex's heart. "I've never thought of it like that. I've been so focused on getting by that I never considered what I truly want." Zyra leaned closer, a gesture so intimate that it made his pulse quicken. "Perhaps now, with me here, you may begin to create a future worth envisioning." He felt a thrill of hope, a potential burgeoning between them that transcended the collar signal. "What about you? Do you long for home?" "I do, although now I feel divided," Zyra admitted, her skin shimmering softly. "I've gained a new perspective here, and it confuses me. I wish to return and share the beauty I've found in your world." "You know," Alex chuckled softly, "we'll have to figure out how to get you back without that collar defining you." Zyra's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Together, we may discover a way." As they gazed at one another, an understanding sparked. This was the essence of partnership. They were both far from home, reaching across the void between their worlds and building something new in its place. The night faded, holding the promise of a deeper bond, painting their relationship in shades of hope and trust. Together, they would journey into uncharted territory, challenging the nature of their worlds while exploring the echoes of their hearts. The days melted into weeks as Alex and Zyra crafted their lives together, exploring the complexities of their bond and deepening their understanding of each other. Laughter filled the workshop, and the hues of Zyra's skin became more vibrant as she acclimated to humanity's oddities, yet a persistent undercurrent of tension loomed over them. The collar remained a binding reminder of ownership, a shackle that threatened to overshadow their blossoming relationship. One evening, while they prepared dinner, Zyra paused, her skin flickering in shades of anxious blue and purple. "Alex," she began, her voice tinged with concern, "what if we can't alter the collar's effect? What does that mean for us?" Alex watched her intently, sensing the gravity of her question. "I promised we'd figure this out together," he comforted. "But we might need outside help, someone who understands this collar better than we do." The idea hung in the air like a cloud of uncertainty. "You mean risk bringing others into our situation?" Zyra asked, her vibrant colors dimming. "What if they wish to reclaim me?" He felt the anxiety mirrored in her, and his heart sank at the thought. "We can choose carefully. I just don't want to see you suffer because of this," he replied, determination lacing his tone. Days turned into a blur as they attempted to navigate their options. Alex scoured the city's underground networks, seeking out rumors about those who understood alien technologies. A critical lead emerged, an eccentric genius named Dr. Voss, rumored to have knowledge of various alien artifacts. "I'll set up a meeting," Alex said, as the idea of taking action galvanized him. "This could be our best chance." Zyra's expression transformed into one of uncertainty. "Are you sure we can trust him?" "Trust is a risk we'll have to take," he confirmed. "We owe it to ourselves to explore every avenue." The following day, they traveled to an old warehouse at the edge of town that had seen better days. Graffiti covered the walls, and a sense of foreboding settled in the air as they approached the entrance. Alex felt a pang of anxiety but clenched his fists, reminding himself of why they were here. Once inside, the atmosphere shifted. The warehouse felt alive with energy, filled with flickering lights and peculiar devices strewn about. Amidst the chaos, a figure appeared from behind a curtain. Dr. Voss, a wiry, wild-eyed inventor with hair that resembled a frizzy cloud. His hands bristled with grease, and his clothing displayed an array of mismatched colors. "Alex!" he exclaimed, a grin breaking across his face. "I've been waiting for you. You've got an alien problem, right? Heard you've got a collar that needs work." "Yes, that's why we're here. This is Zyra," Alex introduced, gesturing toward her. "We need to alter the collar's function. It was designed for ownership, and that's not what we want." Dr. Voss's eyes widened as he turned his gaze toward Zyra, an intense curiosity sparking within him. "Fascinating. A live specimen. Tell me about the collar." He stepped forward, inspecting the device. Zyra flinched slightly, unease radiating from her. "It binds me to Alex, marking me as his property. I am not an object." "I understand, Doctor," Voss replied, his tone shifting to seriousness. "But these devices are tricky. Many were made with specific technologies that react to emotional closeness or intention. We need to understand its structure first." "Then what's the process?" Alex asked, his heart hammering. "How can we ensure it stops tethering Zyra to me in that way?" Voss pulled out various tools and began jotting down notes with an intensity that ignited the workshop with energy. "This collar is no ordinary piece of tech. I'll need a few weeks to explore its inner workings and modify it accordingly. But we'll face a challenge. There are people who want this technology for their own ends." "What do you mean?" Zyra interjected, her voice steady but laced with concern. "Organizations that seek out alien technologies to regain control over their properties," Dr. Voss explained. "Some may have vested interests in keeping you bound, Zyra." Alex's stomach sank. "So, there's a risk someone might come after her?" Voss leaned closer, his tone lowered to a conspiratorial whisper. "If they're aware of your connection, they might see you as an asset. You hold something precious, an alien being with the collar, and that makes you both targets." Fear glimmered in Zyra's eyes, her skin dimming to somber shades. "We can't risk being hunted. I won't be a pawn in someone's game." Alex's heart raced as he felt the gravity of their position. "What do we do now?" he asked, desperation creeping into his voice. Dr. Voss took a step back, considering their situation. "We need to remain vigilant. If we can modify the collar's purpose, it will alter who you are to others while you share this space." "We can establish a safe haven, perhaps," Zyra suggested, her demeanor shifting towards determination. "If we are aware of potential threats, we can protect ourselves." With a new plan forming in their minds, Alex nodded. "Right. We'll work together to ensure we see any threats before they can reach us." As they left the warehouse, the weight of their reality settled upon them. The collar that had once seemed like a mere nuisance now represented a dangerous connection, fraught with hidden dangers. Zyra stood beside Alex, feeling the volatility of emotion stashed in every glance they exchanged. "We will not allow anyone to dictate our fates," she declared, determination lighting her iridescent skin. Alex felt a ripple of hope amid the anxiety. As they faced the shadows of ownership, they would stand as allies, ready to challenge the ties that sought to bind them. And together, they would seek the freedom that eluded them both. The weeks slipped away, each day marked by a blend of vulnerability and resilience as Alex, Zyra, and Dr. Voss worked tirelessly on modifying the collar. The tension between their growing connection and the looming threat of external forces amplified. Alex felt the pressure mounting as he constantly scanned the horizon, half expecting someone to emerge, seeking to reclaim what they believed was theirs. One evening, while they huddled together in the workshop, reviewing the collar's latest modifications, a sense of unease rolled off Zyra in waves. "I can sense a disturbance in the air," she whispered, her skin shifting through muted colors. "Do you feel it too?" Alex nodded, his stomach twisting in knots. "Yeah, something's off. I worry we're running out of time. We need to speed things up." "Then I must confront the intensity of my feelings for you," she asserted. "This connection, whatever it is, it changes everything. You've shown me a world beyond ownership, and I cannot face this alone." He grasped her hand, feeling the warmth of her skin. "You're not alone. We're in this together." The next day, an unexpected knock echoed through the workshop. Alex's heart raced as he exchanged a glance with Zyra. "Stay hidden," he whispered, rushing to cover her from view. He opened the door slowly, allowing only a sliver of light to breach the threshold, heart pounding with trepidation. A familiar figure stood before him, Jackson, a former acquaintance from Alex's past dealings in the underground technology world. "Alex, we need to talk," Jackson insisted, his voice low and urgent. "I don't want anything to do with you," Alex replied, his tone steely. "Listen," Jackson pressed, glancing over Alex's shoulder. "There are people looking for you both. Interests you don't want to mess with." Alex's heart sank. "What do you mean?" "Organizations that trade in alien technology are on the hunt. If they find out you're harboring Zyra..." "She's not a possession," Alex interrupted, anger surging within him. "She's a person. People like them don't care," Jackson exclaimed, frustration etched across his face. "It's about the collar and the potential it holds. You can't afford to be sentimental when lives are on the line." Just then, Zyra stepped out from her hiding spot, the collar's light swirling around her. "Do not underestimate me. I am not an object of trade," she declared, her iridescence flaring defiantly. "See, this is exactly what I'm talking about," Jackson exclaimed, his expression shifting to focused concern. "If you stay here, you'll become targets. You need to leave. Now." "But where will we go?" Alex questioned, anxiety leaking into his voice. "They'll follow us. Not if you have the collar modified," Jackson suggested, desperation creeping into his tone. "Leave the city for now. Head to the outskirts. Dr. Voss might need more time, but you can hide until then." As Jackson laid out the plan, uncertainty wrapped around Alex and Zyra like a shroud. The threat was very real, but leaving felt like surrendering to fear. "Maybe we should go," Zyra posited, her voice steady. "It could buy us time to heal this bond." Alex's heart pounded as he weighed their options. "You're right, but we'll do it on our terms." With a heavy resolve, they gathered their essentials, preparing to leave the only home they had known for weeks. As the evening sky darkened, they slipped away from the workshop, their hearts entwined with both trepidation and hope. Yet, just as they reached the edge of the city, shadows coalesced ahead. Figures emerged, dark silhouettes that radiated danger. Alex's stomach dropped as Jackson shoved them toward an alley. "Go," he urged. "Stay low." They sprinted into the maze of alleyways, adrenaline surging through Alex's veins. Panic surged as footsteps echoed behind them, urgency pressing closer with every corner they turned. Suddenly, Zyra stopped, her gaze locked onto an illuminated doorway ahead. "In there. We're safe." Her hand tugged at Alex, pulling him forward. They dashed through the door, finding themselves in a dimly lit room, stacked with odd paraphernalia of various technologies. Just as they caught their breath, the door burst open behind them, and Jackson stumbled inside, eyes wide with fear. "They found us." "No," Alex exclaimed, his heart racing. "We have to stay quiet." But before he could finish, figures closed in, surrounding them with an air of malice. "You've breached matters that do not involve you," a harsh voice echoed. "Return the alien and the collar, or face the consequences." "We won't," Zyra responded, a fire igniting in her tone. She stepped forward, defiantly meeting their gazes. "I am not a pawn to be traded." In that moment, something shifted within Alex. The fear morphed into determination. "We will not let anyone dictate our lives. We choose our path," he shouted, wrapping an arm protectively around Zyra. The leader scoffed, stepping closer. "You think your loyalty will protect you? Hand her over." "No," Alex's voice rang out defiantly. "You will not take her. We will break this collar once and for all." An intense silence followed the declaration, as the dark figures exchanged glances, doubt flickering on their faces. "Enough!" the leader raged, lunging forward. Just as he reached for Zyra, Alex instinctively stepped between them. Their eyes locked, and within that charged moment, Zyra's skin flickered brilliantly, illuminating the space around them. You will respect our choice, she commanded, infusing her voice with a strength that resonated deep within her. A spellbound effect washed over the figures before them as the luminescence expanded, illuminating the shadows and banishing the darkness. In that vulnerable moment, Alex felt the collar shift on his wrist, a thrum of energy echoing through him, unraveling the hold it had claimed. With each pulse, the collar flickered, and the grasp of ownership loosened, transforming instead into a bond of partnership. Now, Alex shouted, gripping Zyra's hand tightly. "Let's go." They bolted from the room, hearts racing as they launched through the door and down the alley, the shadows retreating into the night behind them. As they emerged into the open air, Alex could feel their bond solidifying, reflections of neon lights revealing newfound clarity. The collar had changed, becoming an emblem of freedom and choice, no longer binding them, but anchoring their connection. "Thank you," Zyra whispered, her eyes glistening with gratitude. "You believed in us." "Always," Alex replied, his heart alight. "We'll face whatever comes next together." As dawn broke on the horizon, they embraced, the warm light of the sun filtering through the remnants of night. Together they would traverse the path before them, a journey of discovery, connection, and love. No longer owner and owned, they embraced each other as true partners, prepared to navigate the unknown and create their own destiny. As the sun rose, Alex and Zyra found hope woven into the fabric of their existence, a symbol of their unbreakable bond. They stepped out into the world, hand in hand, ready to redefine what it meant to love and be free. The essence of their journey would mark them not as victims, but as allies in a dance of interstellar adventure, a human and an alien, bound by understanding and desire, traversing the uncharted territories of both their hearts and the universe.